Hello class 8, welcome to your civics class. So today we are starting with a very new chapter, chapter number 1B, the organs of Indian government, the Union Executive. So let's begin our class. As we all know that the Indian government, in Indian government there are three main organs. So first the legislature, which in the previous chapter we already studied about the legislatures. Now second organ is the executive. So about those executives, we'll talk about those executives in this chapter. And the third organ is the judiciary, right? So in next chapter we will be learning about the judiciary. So let's talk about the executives. Now, who are executives? We know that in parliament, the member of parliaments, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they take decision and they approve those decisions, right? They make laws. But to carry out those rules and regulations, those laws in various parts or in states, we need what? We need a strong organ, and that strong organ is the executive, right? So executive, in another word we can say executive is what? Like, it is the legislature which takes all the decision in the parliament, right? And approves all the decisions, and approves all the decisions, makes laws, right? The decisions of the parliament are carried out by the executives. Thus, we talk about the government, we usually mean what? Executive. Executive means those who implement rules and regulations and that decisions taken in the parliament by the member of parliaments, right? So executives, those who implements rules and regulations in a country or in states. Now, political and permanent executives. Now, these there are two types of executives. One is political executives, and another one is permanent executive. So there are two types of executives: political executive and permanent executive. Now, political executive. So political executives means those members or those executives, those members who are directly elected by we people. So we people means UAF, Universal Adult Franchise. The person who is 18 years or above has right to vote in election, and they can that person can choose a representative, right? So political executives are chosen or elected by UAF for a specified period of time. So specified period of time means for 5 years, right? Now next is permanent executive, whereas permanent executives, they are not directly elected, they are indirectly elected, and they are for a long term basis, right? The term is for specific time, that is let's say 5 years, and permanent executive for a long term basis. Excuse me, for a long term basis, right? So these permanent executives, they remain in office um, even when the ruling government or party changes, right? Okay. Now all the political leaders fall in this category: ruling party, all the chief ministers, and your union ministers, including prime minister. They all are the part of political executive. Now, permanent executive examples are vice president and president, right? Okay, and the governors also, governors of states, and your president and vice president, they fall in this category, permanent executive. The political executives are more powerful than the permanent executives. This is very important point, that this political executive, they are more powerful than this permanent executive. Why? Because they are elected by we people, right? UAF. They are elected by UAF, Universal Adult Franchise, we people, and are answerable to the people, right? The political executives decide the overall framework and objectives in which decisions on policy should be made. So political executives only decide and overall framework and objectives in which decision on policy should be made, right? Because they know, because they are chosen from, they are elected from we people, so they know the problems of their people, right? Okay, permanent executives, as I told you, they are for a long term basis, and even the ruling party changes, they remain in office, right? The permanent executives work under political executives, so they work on the advice of this political executive and assist them in carrying out day-to-day administrations. So the governor, vice president, president, they need to assist those political executive. They need to assist, and they need to carry out the day-to-day administration, right? The union executive is the second main organ of the government. At the center, it consists of three main parts, namely the president, vice president, the prime minister, and the council of ministers. So union executive, as we know, that this is the second organ of the Indian government, and it consists of three parts. So the union executive, it consists of three parts, and those three parts are, the first one is the president, then the second is the vice president, and the third one is the prime minister, and his council of ministers, right? So these are the three main parts of the union executive: the president, the vice president, and the prime minister, and his council of ministers. So let's talk about each of this part one by one in detail. Okay, let's talk about the first part of the executive, the president. So first we'll discuss about the qualifications. So qualifications, then we'll talk about the term, then vacancy, and we'll discuss about impeachment, emoluments, and presidential elections also. So let's talk about the qualifications. So what are the qualifications required to become the president? First one is he or she should be citizen of India. Second, he or she must have completed 35 years of age, right? And must be qualified as a member of Lok Sabha, right? So must be qualified for election as a member of Lok Sabha, and must not hold any office of profit under state or central government, right? So let's talk about the disqualification. If a person is less than 35 years, if a person is 34 years and 11 months, then he or she is not eligible to contest for this elections, presidentship election, right? And if a person is holding two offices at the same time, so that also comes under the disqualifications. And next, if he or she is an alien means foreigner, right? So in that case also, that person, he or she cannot contest for this presidential election, right? Now next is term. The term is for is 5 years, and he or she is eligible for re-election, right? So re-election for 1, 2, or more than 2 terms, right? But a tradition has developed in our country during the past 50 years or so that no president except Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, after the first president of independent India, we can say, that held this office for more than 1 term, right? Rest, no president has re-elected or is re-elected. Now next is vacancy. So vacancy, the president may resign from his or her office before the expiry of his term, right? So once he or she is elected for 5 years, right? So but he or she, the president, can resign before the expiry of the term. For this purpose, he has to send his written resignation to the vice president, who will cause it to be communicated to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and after that there is a procedure, we call it impeachment, right? So impeachment is what? Impeachment is the removal of the president from his or her office. So that is the impeachment for violation of the constitution or bribery, right? So bribery, you all know. So impeachment is it's a removal of the president, or we can also use this impeachment in case of removal of judges of high courts and Supreme Court, right? So that's the impeachment. Now next we have emoluments. So emoluments, president is entitled with 5 lakh per month, a salary of 5 lakh per month, a well furnished official residence, that is Rashtrapati Bhavan, free of rental charges, and his salary is charged on the consolidated fund of India, so it is not subject of parliamentary vote, right? So and his salary is charged on the consolidated fund of India. That means it's not a subject or a matter to discuss in parliament, as well as his salary never be reduced except financial instability, right? Okay, now let's move to the next topic, very important, that is presidential elections, electoral college. Electoral college, so this is that body which consists of elected members of MPs and elected members of MLAs. So MPs, we know, elected members of MPs. MPs means member of parliament, so member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and elected members of MLAs. MLAs means member of legislative assemblies, right? Legislative assemblies, that means Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. So what's the key word here? The key word is this one, elected members, because we know that president nominates members in MPs and MLAs. So we are not talking about the nominated members, we are talking about elected members. So this is the key word here. So electoral college means that body which consists of elected members of MPs, member of parliament, member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and elected member of legislative assembly. MLA means member of legislative assembly. That means member of Vidhan Sabha and member of Vidhan Parishad, right? So this body is known as Electoral College. So that means we people, that means UAF or we people have no role in this presidentship election, right? Okay. So the president is elected indirectly. We call it indirectly. The president is indirectly elected because we people are not involved. Ordinary citizens played no part in this elections, right? Presidents and vice presidents also election. So now this electoral college, this is temporarily or temporary body, because this member of this group is dissolved immediately after the election of the president, right? Or immediately after the president election of president is over, this body is immediately dissolved. That is why this electoral college is what? It's a temporary body, right? Okay. Okay, now children, that's all for the day. In next video, we will be doing the powers and the functions of the president, as well as we will be doing this position of the president, and hopefully we'll start the vice president qualifications and powers and functions of vice president, right? Okay. So till then, you take care. Bye bye.